Gets and lads, welcome to the Game Full Podcast. Today is going to be our second episode of our Concacaf Transfers and Rumors series, which we are now doing. Today we're going to be covering Cameron Carter-Vickers to Bayer Leverkusen, Jonathan David to Al-Nassr in Saudi Arabia, and Chino Huerta to Anderlecht in Belgium. So make sure to stick around for all those three. I'm going to put timestamps at the bottom as well. But let's talk about Cameron Carter-Vickers first. The only American in this episode is going to be Cameron Carter-Vickers to German giants Bayer Leverkusen from Scottish giants Celtic. Do we think it's a good move for him or not?
Diego, I'll let you go, senor.
I mean, I don't think he's ever really played in like a top 5 league consistently, and I know Celtic highly value him, and he's been really good for them. But again, this is like the Scottish league, right? So I'm not trying to like put down the Scottish league here, but I think he would be a little strong. I think it's a good team to go to. They're consistent. I think you get game time, not a lot, but he gets some game time. But I think it'll really truly be down to him if he gets found out and is like not as is like if the Scottish League is his level, or if he can go higher. I don't know for Cameron Carter-Vickers for sure. I know a big thing I just saw was like he has a big injury prone record. If the higher the league you go, that's not going to change. It's gonna be just as physical. Definitely don't go to the Premier League though, because that would be where the worst of it are happen. So Bundesliga, Serie A, where it's a little slower paced, I think would be not too bad. I don't know. I mean, why not try it, right? Like, I think give it a go, see how it goes. But unfortunately, I also wouldn't be surprised if he's back at Celtic, and like if he goes. I just think I don't know. I can't tell if this is the right move for him or not just yet. I don't know if his ability is up here yet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
Andres?
Well, based on the fact, as you guys know, I was in my office early this morning, slaving away, making sure I had information on this.
Show the notes.
Well, hold on. Let's see if the brightness is getting better now. There we go. Here's the notes, baby. So my notes state that he's actually not interested in a move at the moment.
I feel like that's something you should have told us before we did this whole episode
I wanted Diego. No, the move is probable. It's possible. It just the asking price is gonna have to be a lot because he recently signed a 5.5-year deal with Celtic.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's gonna take a lot for him to move. I don't see why he wouldn't want to because Bundesliga and Bayer Leverkusen.
It is a step up, yeah.
But at the same time, he's focused on his role at Celtic. In the quotes of several articles, it was he's focused on his role at Celtic and is not looking forward to a move at the moment in January. But that could all change with the right amount of money. It's really up to him. But I will say, based on my research, Celtic are interested in selling him if the right price is offered. I feel like I'm Fabrizio right now. But yeah, that's the rumor. But he has done very well in his past 45 own appearances, and I knocked out my headphones. But yeah, that's what my research is telling me. But a move is possible, so that's why I didn't say anything because I was like, I'll just wait because it's possible. It's a rumor. It's not like it's a concrete thing.
True. No, very true. You're right. Yeah, I mean, Bayer Leverkusen is too much of a step up for me. I like Cameron Carter-Vickers. I think he's a great defender, especially for Celtic. And I think a lot of people don't give enough credit to Celtic and the Scottish League. It's not a great league, but Celtic is a fairly good team on its own. I think he's a very big part of that team and big part of the league in general. Bayer Leverkusen, though, I don't see it as of right now. I see it one day. I don't know if he's ready for a Bayer Leverkusen. I don't know if he's ready for a top Premier League team. A mid-table Bundesliga team, maybe. A mid to bottom table Premier League team, I would say as well. It would be totally fine. I just don't know if Bayer Leverkusen. I feel like that's a huge step up. That's a lot of expectation that I think Americans in general tend to not like or tend to not play well with. I think Celtic... Obviously, he's not interested in a move. But it kind of begs the question, too, if he's not interested in a move, is it just because he just signed a 5-year contract, or is it because he doesn't feel he's ready? And if he doesn't feel he's ready, then I don't feel he's ready. I also...
Yeah. Hey, Scotland's a nice place to live. Maybe he just doesn't feel like moving.
No, it's comfortable. And he's consistently in the top 2 of the league, and at least of recently, they are the best team in the league compared to Rangers, and there's just no other competition beyond that. There's Hearts and whatever, but it's just Celtic and Rangers essentially. If he's comfortable, he's comfortable. But at some point, I do want him to test himself. I just don't know if Leverkusen is that test.
Xabi
It
Alonso
could be.
is a big fan of his, though, based on So
yeah,
just saying.
Very true, and it depends on Leverkusen as well, right? Leverkusen, I think, have Jonathan Tah, who is their best center back and is one of the best center backs in the Bundesliga, who has been in talks for Barcelona.
Though. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. Jonathan Tah is, in talks with Barcelona, but he about to move, more than likely, in January or summer. Is Cameron Carter-Vickers the right replacement for that?
Temporary, if anything.
If Jonathan Tah moves in a year and a half or 2 years, then yes. But right now, I don't know. Which then also asks, will he be a starter then if he's not the right fit and still moves? Someone's going to come in and take that spot. They have good defenders, and Capia being the number one I can think of. They have good defenders. Would he go to Bayer Leverkusen and start? I highly doubt it. I'd rather him go to somewhere else where he's starting game in, game out, like he is at Celtic, when he's healthy, of course, as Diego was saying. I don't think Leverkusen is the right place to go for that, though. Great team, great environment, great development, I'm sure, but he's not young. He's not that young. He's getting to the age where, he's got to be playing these games. Yeah. Champions League, Europa League, sure, which you're getting at Celtic. I just don't know about a top title contender Leverkusen yet. I feel like it's a lot of expectation for him. They can't match.
Kind of canceled out when I said isn't interested in the room.
I mean,
my bad, G.
No, you're good. I don't know. I guess we'll see. If he's not interested, then
exactly. Again, you heard it here first. You heard it here on the Game Football Podcast. My reports were correct.
Yeah. Then if he's not interested, then why move? Personally, I would prefer him to just go to a Premier League team. Which I think he could do. He's been looked at fairly recently by the likes of Tottenham and whatnot. He's a very good defender for club.
Celtic. Fun fact.
Well, yeah, I know, but to come back, I mean, that's what I'm saying is. That's how good of a defender he has gotten at Celtic. He's a great defender for club level, and he has been rumored to go back to the Premier League at some point, multiple times over the past few years. I think that should be the next step for me. Instead of going to the Bundesliga and then maybe the Premier League after, I think it's go to the Premier League at some relatively soon because he can do it. He's a very physical defender. He could do it. I don't think a top 6 or top 8 or 10 club, but somewhere around the likes that knows how to defend, how to produce center backs a lot more and get them the game time. I'd rather him just do that, to be honest, instead of going to Bayer Leverkusen. I think his output is going to be way more noticeable in a Premier League team than a German team at the height of Bayer Leverkusen.
And Tottenham need a lot of defensive help at the moment, so
they do. They very much do. And I think he'd fit right in at Tottenham now. Let him walk, bring him back. I think it totally would work out.
As a Tottenham fan, I can say that the thought that he could be good or he could not be good is not enough for us to go sign him right now. We need someone who's consistently good, and he's unsure. We had him at the club, and he obviously wasn't enough to break through. So
but I feel like that's a big difference of time. That was a long time ago now.
It is, but also, and again, I'm not trying to shit on the Scottish League, but yes, you can be consistent in the Scottish League, but I don't know. I just don't like the idea of not knowing if his game will translate to a physical, fast-paced team, especially like our team, which has a super high line. I don't know. I don't like that fit, to be honest with you.
I mean, yeah, and I agree with you on the fact that you shouldn't be signing players that could be good or bad. But let's bring it back a little bit. We're talking about Tottenham here. We're talking about Daniel Levy. It's not like he only signs good players. Like I could throw out a few names that Tottenham have signed in the recent past that were either going to be good or not good, and they didn't work out.
Bergwijn.
And Dombele.
Yeah, and
Bergwijn too. Yeah. Well, I'm saying I think it's a fairly realistic place to go. The Scottish League also, let's not knock how physical Scottish League is too. Right, the Scottish League is physical in the way that the MLS is physical. Right, because just to make up for a lack of technical ability in some areas, Scottish League is very physical. Cameron Carter-Vickers isn't just consistent in the Scottish League. Cameron Carter-Vickers is one of the best players in the Scottish League. Let's not forget that too. He is literally awarded consistently as one of the best players in the Scottish League. So it's not just he's a good defender from there. He can do it. I know he can do it. He has the ability to come into the Premier League. I think his game would heavily translate into the Premier League now. Yes, not in the past, because that was what 6-7 years ago now at this point. He's been on Celtic for a little bit. He's been successful for Celtic for a little bit. I think he can 100% go into the Premier League right away. It's just at what level of the Premier League that is. But I think he could do it. I think his game is going to translate fairly quickly to the Premier League. And I think Tottenham will be lucky to have him. So, no, I'm just kidding.
The only thing I would say is I think Ainge actually worked with him when they're at Celtic. So if anyone knows whether he think he'll be a good fit, would be Ainge.
Look at that connection.
If he saw him in his club and he's like, yeah, I think he'd fit right into this, or he's he judges and he's like, no, from what I saw he wouldn't. So I think there's actually someone perfectly who knows worked with him for at least a season and would know. At the end of the day, like that's that experience. They work with him on the training ground and in matches for a whole season. So he'll be a big judge if Tottenham do choose to go after him. I know for sure he'll have a voice in that.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's why there's been rumors of the past year. There's been a good amount of rumors for Cameron Carter-Vickers to Tottenham over the past years because of that connection. So, yeah, I'd agree. And I mean, I know Ainge has talked about Cameron Carter-Vickers in the past and has, sung his praises and whatnot because he is a great defender. It's just a matter of them. Well, also, it's different for Ainge, right, in Tottenham because it's not just him making the decisions. There is another big key man pulling a bigger trigger. So,
he has a bigger gun.
Bars. Okay, let's move on. Jonathan David to Al-Nassr now. First of all, it's a dumb rumor. It's a stupid rumor. Apparently, Al-Nassr are going to offer, I think, 15 to 20 million euros. Jonathan David was worth way more
price,
than that.
Baby. Up that price. He's worth way more in FIFA. Shit, man, bro. Bro's worth
Jonathan David is a 30 to $45 million player. Or million pound or euro, whatever.
Euro or whatever.
15 to 20 from Al-Nassr, from the money spenders that Al-Nassr are, to Jonathan David? And does Jonathan David even accept that? No.
Bro, he's 25. Or 24. Leave bro alone.
Yeah, granted, that hasn't stopped young players in the past. Jota.
I believe. He's on a mission. I mean, let's be real. He is one of the most top informed strikers in the world right now in terms of what he's doing on the Champions League level and in league. I mean, he is the top goal scorer in Ligue 1. So, I mean, that just says it all right there. And has a massive role right now for the Canadian national team, if you want to look at it from an international perspective. And is literally firing on all cylinders for them as well. So he's translating that well. But upon my research of Jonathan David, I did stumble across a few articles talking about a rumor to Man City. We can also talk about that. I don't like that move because Man City ruins all good players for me. So I have a question for you guys, because obviously Jonathan David is not just a Ligue 1 player. We kind of want to see him go out, especially with Elijah being a Concacaf fan and wanting to up the levels of Concacaf. So where would you want him to go? Like a league? Don't give me a club. Just give me a league that if you could transfer out right now. He's probably isn't going to because of, how well he's doing right now for Lille. But like I could see him going in the summer. That would make sense. So where would you put him?
Yeah, I'd give him the Prem right now. He's that good of a striker. Like, I think I don't see him in the Serie A. I could. If he's an Inter Milan kind of striker for me. He's a very Lautaro Martinez kind of striker in the Serie A, so he could excel there too. But obviously, Inter have Lautaro Martinez. He's not going to do that. La Liga, I don't know if I see La Liga right now. Bundesliga, I don't know if I see Bundesliga, and I don't think it'd be too much of a step up for him. I think Premier League would be the common answer, or the MLS. I'm just kidding. The Premier League would be.
You got a Kyle Walker report. This guy's all.
I'm seeing too many Landon Donovan and I see all his posts and quotes. No, the Premier League. He's been rumored to go to the Premier League for what feels like years now, because he's been that good of a player for years now. I know Chelsea have constantly been in the race for and the at least the interest of Jonathan David, which I would
somehow always pops up.
I'd kill for. Yeah, West Ham too. I think he could go to a lot of teams in the Premier League and excel pretty well. I don't think he should go to a Liverpool or a City. You're right. I don't think he should go to City or even an Arsenal. Any other team though, I think he should go into and slot right in pretty well. Jonathan David's a good player. He's a very good player. If you watch him play, he does a lot for the team, not just in a goal scoring sense, but in a setup sense. Jonathan David is a phenomenal player. So yeah, exactly. He deserves to go to a Premier League team. I think anything else would kind of be almost a sideways move instead of a forward move to an extent.
Slight detour.
Yeah, a little bit. But and obviously, I wouldn't fault him for taking that route if he did. He's young. He still is, fairly young. Maybe he doesn't want to throw himself into that high pressure of an environment, but he fully deserves to be in there, because it's becoming, it's not just, this isn't form. This is just the level of player that Jonathan David is. So I think you go into the right system in the Premier League. Honestly, I would have said West Ham, like last year.
I know.
Not current Lopetegui West Ham, but like a
David
West Ham
Boy's
system. I think
West Ham.
I could totally see him
David
wearing,
Moyes.
wearing the claret and blue.
We
Just
would
not
be
right
doing
now.
him a disjustice if he came to us right now. We're stuck with full Krug, all right?
Yeah, Diego, Premier League or not?
I mean, I think Premier League. I do disagree. I think any kind of league where he could play at a high level would be fine. Obviously, Premier League would be
Bundesliga.
great because we get to see him play, and it's the considered the top league by most. Of course, I would say Premier League would be great, but even if it isn't, I still think like a top 6 team in Serie A or the top 4 team in the Bundesliga. La Liga's a little harder because maybe there's only like 3 you would consider, and those are really hard to get into most of the time. So, but I would say definitely like those other 2, I think would be good. I think Bundesliga he would score a lot of goals in Bundesliga, like 100%. He would be bagging them in there because of how like open and free flowing that league is. Serie A, that one's a tough one because it tends to be really compact, but I don't know. I could still see, we see Lautaro Martinez still doing great for Inter, and like you said, a Milan, AC Milan, even a Napoli, I think would be. Although they're not doing too great this season, but if Napoli were to get back to their roots, or Atlanta, bro, like Atlanta are so good, and for their attackers,
So no.
Atlanta, my bad.
MLS.
The credit just went straight down. We had such high credit for
He was doing so
him.
good too.
Atlanta, no, but seriously, Atlanta would be awesome. They're first in the league right now, I think, in Serie A. Their attackers are always popping off. They're always doing well.
Dude, Lookman and Jonathan David.
Jonathan
would
David,
actually
dude,
be crazy.
he would start, and I know it's not like the big name team that maybe people are hoping for, but it doesn't
No,
matter. I
that
mean,
team
he'll
would
get
be
that
cracked.
experience. Yeah,
That
he would
team
be
would
great.
genuinely
So
be
that'll be another great move. So there are definitely some teams around the top 5 for sure that are not the French league that I think he could totally do well in. So yeah, I mean definitely a move to not go to Saudi Arabia. Like, come on.
No, he's
That's
such
a step down. He can go everywhere, sideways, forward, but like, there's no way. There's no way.
He's such a. It's so funny how this is all coming out right after Ronaldo made those quotes that we were talking about yesterday.
yeah.
Talking about how like Saudi Arabia is better than the
Glazing.
French league.
No, glazing, bro. I mean,
It's-
when you
it's
get paid that
wild.
much money, you probably have like a gun to your head at certain points. I
To
mean,
an
yeah, I
extent.
don't
Especially for the
doubt it.
face of the whole like movement that Saudi Arabia is doing, and the
Yeah,
whole
I
World Cup
mean,
thing,
I don't
which we'll
blame
talk
him.
about later. But
Shit. I mean, I don't know if I'd take the money. That's a whole conversation on its own.
yeah,
I'm not
it's
gonna
a whole
get
nother
down that rabbit hole, ethical rabbit hole.
Jonathan David, if you're watching this, for the sake of being a Concacaf ambassador, please don't go to Saudi Arabia. Please don't do that. Take the best
believe.
move you can. He's gonna have a lot of options. I don't know about winter, but summer, I think he's gone in summer.
West Ham, hey, we got the money. Come on, we need a striker.
Well,
Come on over.
he's
Play
gonna have a lot of
Lopetegui
better
ball.
options. He'll have a lot of better options by then
Let me
too.
tell you, if Jonathan David's listening right now, he's like, Lopetegui ball, what is that? I couldn't tell you. Just come and play Lopetegui.
Yeah, nobody knows. Nobody wants to know. Not even Lopetegui.
He doesn't.
Not
he
even the
doesn't
West Ham
even
players know.
fucking know. Yeah, the players don't know. They just rock up. It's like a Sunday league game. They just there.
Real.
I don't even know if they train.
Jonathan David in a Juve kit, I think would look.
I
rather
honestly,
interesting.
Diego's shot with Atalanta, like I actually really like it. I think that would be really solid, and they could make.
I like it. I don't think he would. I mean, don't get me wrong. Atalanta are an up and coming team. It's not a team you move to, right? Like in his level, to an extent, from certain perspectives, it's another sideways move. I disagree. Like I know Atalanta is they're becoming, and they have been a top Serie A team for years now. But I just don't think it. I don't know. I don't think he'd appreciate that move a whole lot. I would love it. I don't think it would. It'd be a higher profile, higher market team that he'd probably be going to, like a Prem or a Serie A. But I think he definitely moves at the end of this year. I don't think he can't stay at Leo for too much longer and continue. He really has to start testing himself. But definitely not. You're right. Definitely not Saudi Arabia and Al-Nassr. Crazy. That's such a stupid rumor. And the rumor is that they're going to offer a very low amount of money for his technical ability. This doesn't make sense to me.
I can't say that. Never mind.
You've already gotten comments from Saudi Arabians on just talking shit about you, so let's
come at me, dog. I don't care. Okay. Even though we probably won't get invited to the next World Cup, but that's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay. I didn't want to go anyways. You won't be welcome. No rock up. Imagine we get invited. I rock up. We all 3 of us rock up. They're like, no. to me, just
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
That would be depressing.
Well, if it's just you, it's okay. I'll still go.
Yeah, no,
But
I think it'd be really good for the channel. I'll go back home.
I just got arrested in Saudi Arabia. All right. Last player of
Just
today's
glaze them,
episode.
bro. Just glaze them in every email.
Yeah, true. I have been doing that for multiple channels or for multiple clubs and whatnot. Let's talk about our last transfer of the video, and this is the most confirmed transfer because it's essentially we're essentially a day, an hour away
Done
from it
deal.
being confirmed.
We're waiting for Fabrizio.
For the Here We Go.
Here we go. And what's
We're
the
waiting
other
for the
kid's
Here We
name?
Go.
We'll give him a shout out too. Here we land.
Here
Yeah,
we land.
Here we
Yeah.
land.
Here we land.
What happened to that kid?
I
He's
don't
not-
know. Yeah, he had his moment
Just-
of fame. He had his
I'll
moment of
take
fame.
it. You know, he made monies for his family. He's going on that
Yeah.
trip for sure. He talked about.
Yeah.
Unless his family just took all his money, which would be rough.
I don't think he did. Chino Huerta to RSC Anderlecht in the Belgian Pro League.
Let's
And
go.
I love that. Personally, I love that for Chino Huerta. I think it's a great move. I think a lot of people are complaining that it's not a top 5 league move.
Okay,
A lot
well,
of
let's
people,
relax. Let's relax.
I mean,
Hey, man.
don't get me wrong. He could have done it, right? The rumor for a little bit, mostly until Anderlecht kind of came out of the blue. The rumor for Chino Huerta was Girona and Osasuna in La Liga. And I think
and
I think it would've been great
Ajax
fits.
too. Ajax came out of nowhere, but that was a while back.
True. I actually came out of nowhere. I think Chino Huerta has the ability to play in a top 5 league, especially La Liga, and I think Girona being in the City Group project would have been amazing. But Anderlecht, I think it's a great move for him.
I think this
I
move
think
is
so,
good
too.
because it provides that he's gonna play, and if he doesn't play, that means he's not up for any top 5 league. So this is his way of showing yes, I'm gonna be starting. I'm gonna be, and if he better have great consistency, and if he shows it, which I totally think he can, then he can go to somewhere else. But I think sometimes, and I know we were pushing for those other teams, but having a team who's actually one of the better teams in the league. Yes, while it can make you look better, it also means that you get to play with better teammates and kind of learn from them as well. And sometimes a lot of players they'll move to a Girona or Sevilla and nothing happens because there's just nothing there to be clicking for them. So I feel like this is actually going to be really good for him. And if he shows what we all think he can do, then he's going to be going to a better team after a few, maybe 2-3 seasons here. No doubt.
Yeah. I think Anderlecht is a great development. Okay. Chino Huerta he's not old.
He's 25. It was his
He's
birthday actually
25.
a few days ago.
Oh, well, happy birthday, Chino Huerta. I think he needs to take a year and a half at Anderlecht, and then that's your opportunity. That's when you should be moving to a La Liga team of some sort. Take a good 4, 5, 6 years, then go back to Pumas if you want. I think Anderlecht is a stepping stone, though, and I think it should be treated as such. I don't think Anderlecht is the career-ending move for him, but Anderlecht is a great, great club. They've developed a lot of good players. I have a list pulled up here of just some of the names Anderlecht have developed over the years. Vincent Kompany being the number one name, of course. Romelu Lukaku, Jeremy Doku in Manchester City is killing it right now. Yuri Tielemans, who is one of the most exciting and one of my favorite midfielders in the Prem. Romeo Lavia, who is one of the best DMs right now in the Prem when he is healthy. The likes of Dries Bertens, Gala, Salamakers, Luka Bacchio. Anderlecht has developed and is known to develop a lot of good talent. I think it's great for Chino Huerta. I think it's great for the Mexican national team as well. I think it just opens up a whole different level of style of play, of possibility, and all that. I think it's great. Andres?
Little fun fact: he'd be the first ever Mexican to play for Anderlecht. Little fun
Well, look at
fact
that.
for you. But I think we in the last episode we covered 2 Mexican players, and we talked about the lack of ambition, of coming back to Liga MX. But this is a little different. Chino wants to go to Europe. He has the desire to go to Europe, according to a lot of journalists in Mexico that are close to him. Reports. I don't know how true it is, because you know how Mexican media is. Such a lot of things just throwing and then seeing what sticks.
Well, we do know that they've offered him multiple contracts, and he has rejected all of them. So that's a clear enough sign he wants
ambition. But yeah, he wants to make a name for himself in Europe. So I think this is the right step, and hopefully he's gonna pave the way for a bunch of other Mexican players to take that next step and take that initiative, because I think it's a little daunting if we're looking at that perspective of being the one to take that step, or being a part of the new generation in terms of making that step forward. So maybe because it's basically almost confirmed. When he does, maybe hopefully a lot of younger players see that and be like, okay, let's make this move in the summer. Let's try and push something in the winter, January transfer window. So that's what I'm hoping happens, because I think this is a really good thing for him personally, but also for the Mexican national team for future players in terms of making that move to Europe. But I'm excited because I generally think he's going to excel in this, and he's only going to get better because I think he recently found his form for the Mexican side, the Mexican national team, and I think this is just going to make him a lot better playing football in and out at the high level. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I've always liked Chino Huerta for the Mexican national team. I think he should be a starter almost every game.
Yeah.
Right, like it was him and Quinones. I think they came in this at around the same time and stuff. I love both of them. I like Chino a little bit more. I think Chino can go to Belgium and I think absolutely excel. Right, I'm not going to claim to know the Belgium league that much. I know the teams. I know of it. I don't know how they play over there, but
it wouldn't be
I
the
do
first
think he
time
can
a
go
Mexican excelled in the Belgium league. Memo did. Cheers.
Well, there you go.
Sorry to cut you off. My bad, G.
No, you're good. You're good. I think it's a really good move. And like I said, you take a year or two there, and then you move on. It should be looked at as a stepping stone, but this is a greater stepping stone than many have. Like I said, Anderlecht develops a lot of players and have developed quality. And I think also this is a good transfer for Pumas as well, right? Pumas, I know they try to keep him, but Pumas is known as one of the better teams to outsport their talent to Europe, which is nice. I think it looks good for Pumas too that they're. I know it's not them allowing him to do so. It's a Chino Huerta sanctioned move essentially, but it makes them look good. It makes players might want to go there as a stepping stone to move forward into Europe and whatnot. I think overall, I don't think there's any bad signs for this transfer, in my opinion. I think it's all look good, and I do know a lot of people are considering maybe it's a loan. It's not. I believe it is a permanent transfer.
Permanent, yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's good. And Anderlecht consistently is in European football too. I mean, they're one of the best teams in the Belgian league. They consistently are in and around the top teams of the world, at least of Europe. So yeah, I can't complain. I think it's a great move. And if anybody has any complaints, let me know in the comments down below. But I think it's a perfect move for this time of his career. Would you guys have liked to see a Girona Osasuna more than this move, or is this move sufficient for your satisfaction?
I'm satisfied because there's a higher risk if the other moves, you know what I mean? There's a higher risk that he doesn't work out, but this is a good step. It's a good step, a starting step, you know what I mean? He's young enough to the point where he has room to grow and move up. So I'm happy with it. I'm content with it.
I agree. I think it's a good place to show if what our hopes for him are going to be there. And if he does what we all think he should do, he should be starting and he should be producing. And then from there, it'll be up to who's interested, who needs a forward like that. And let's be honest, wingers like that are always in demand. So as long as he's showing what he's got, he'll be set.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think obviously Chino Huerta has one of the higher potentials out of any player on this Mexican national team. He was linked with Liverpool not that long ago, and yeah, it wouldn't way too big of a step for him. But I think just the fact that he shows a real possibility of where he could end up. He could totally excel there and move to a Premier League or a top La Liga team. I think it's going to happen personally. I am fairly confident in him that he's going to be able to pull something off after this. So good on Chino Huerta. It's nice that we're talking about a good Mexican transfer.
Unlike last episode, just
shitting on
shit.
the Mexican national team. Yeah, it's nice that there's some hope somewhere, right? Like at least some players still want to move to Europe, and while there is a sea of abroad Mexican players want to come back, I think it's good. I think it's great. All right, well, I think that's going to be it for us on this episode of our Concacaf Transfers and Rumors series. If there's anybody who wants to cover the next one, let us know in the comments down below, and of course, leave your opinions on every single one of these ones today. Leave a like because it helps us out more than you realize, and then subscribe if you guys want more Concacaf content and transfer news and rumors content because we're going to here to bring it to you guys. Otherwise, it's going to be it from us. Hopefully see you in the next video. Peace. Take care.